Hi, kids. Hang on one second while I get this damn thing to mute. Mute, damn you. Well, I didn't want to hang you guys out to dry or anything and leave you hanging here on a playoff weekend. Playoffs? And shut up in there. I'm on the air. What is wrong with you? So here we are, Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. I'm having some... Let's call them mild health issues. Screw you, YouTube. I don't want your trial. Thank you. But I shall persevere. I shall move on. I shall continue. I will not die. Oh, wow, I will. YouTube's just pissing me off lately. They really are. I will, on this playoff occasion, while I turn off the reverb, I'm a little discombobulated this morning. Like I said, I'm having a minor health issue. Hopefully I'll be over it soon. Hopefully way before next week. I would love to thank my partner, Matt, whom I am playing now for the fifth time. Matt and I are, we're competitors in 3 different fantasy leagues. We both missed the playoffs in the oldest of the 2, the more longer established Screwy Louie Football League. Whoops, we both missed the playoffs. I believe we were both 7-6, 7-6, that shows how competitive that league is. But we are competitors in Danny's Dirty Dozen, which Danny Heimbender. Don't act like you don't watch this show. You're creeping. You're not in the chat. Get in the chat, Danny. Show us that you're here. We do have 2 people in the chat, in the live chat. Who the hell is it? Who's in my live chat? Nobody. I don't see nobody. I see people lurking in the live chat. Where you at? No, yeah. So who's here? Who's on? If you're watching right now, okay, and you didn't give up. They're not doing this show today. It's 11:01. They're late. Sorry if we didn't make your appointment for you. This is we're not in TV Guide. This is YouTube. So let's get to the playoffs. I'm playing Matt in the playoffs in Danny's Dirty Dozens. I've done a pretty fair job against Mr. Masaracchio this season. Pretty fair job indeed. Not to say that I haven't, in the wisdom that I've gleaned from both him and the guru's guru and my own wisdom. I've only been doing this for almost 30 years. 1 second. Don't smoke, kids. It's bad for you. I will say this for the playoffs. It is vitally important for you to pay attention to the weather, especially this weekend. Because I've paid attention to the weather, there is a rather significant Arctic blast making its way across the northern plains states, Minnesota, Iowa, the Dakotas, Wisconsin, the Great Lakes, if you will, and about to roll right into the heart of metropolitan NFL territory, being Cleveland, Baltimore, New York, Massachusetts, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, even Chicago. So you might really want to watch your weather, because although you don't really think that, weather will affect too much, and, then you go ahead and start a quarterback who's playing in a deluge or in a snowstorm, and, they drop, 12 points and you lose your game. Not that I've had that happen to me. But make sure you watch your weather. Definitely. I mean, Monday night's matchup with the Eagles and the Giants. going to be a bit of a slog, kids. They're talking about 90% chance of rain in the first half, dropping off to 60 in the second half. Not to mention it's going to be cold as testicles. No, wait, testicles. Anyway, this is what happens when you leave me alone on the podcast and, medication kicks in, things like that. I don't even turn all the lights on. I just got this one light right over here. It's the reason why I look like Two-Face this morning. But once again, I didn't want to leave you hanging. I really didn't. I don't know if you're out there, Iris. Where are you, Iris? Iris is always faithfully here, but she's not. So on top of the fact that the reason why there's no Damaz is that we had a bit of a scheduling snafu and a bit of a communication snafu, and he thought I canceled the show, which I did not. But we do have a remote show coming up in the near future, most likely next week, because like I said, most likely I'll feel much better next week, hopefully. Go antibiotics. I can't drink. And, wow, really? You guys are ghosting me? There's 3 of us, and nobody's on the chat room? Nobody's got questions? Oh, well, I'll just go. I mean, I can go smoke a cigar and prepare for my playoffs. Okay? My playoffs where I have made the executive decision, okay, given the choice between Wentz on Monday night against the probably the worst defense in the league, other than, well, actually, they're probably worse than the Dolphins at this point. The Dolphins were really bad the first 9 games. But lately, scheme-wise, production-wise, they've been tightening it down. But, by the way, go Dolphins. But weather being what it is, and Wentz being as fragile as he's been, 38 points one week, 12 points the next, I decided to go with an equally unstable but in much better weather at home, Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston, who is playing to curry favor with his current coach, Bruce Arians in Tampa Bay. And we've noticed his interceptions have gone down. Last week against the Jags, they ran. I think he had 17 pass attempts last week, something like that. But no interceptions, and that's the name of the game for him. So I like his matchup against the Indianapolis Colts at home. I like it. I just like it. I think it's a good idea. The weather won't be a factor. The floor for Jameis Winston right now, since the beginning of October, the floor for him has been about 26 points. Trust me, I have intimate knowledge of this guy. He has killed me on occasion. But the floor for him is about 26 points. When he's chucking it, when he's throwing it, when they're not running it 41 times, which that's what you do against Jacksonville, is you got to run the ball 41 times. You don't pass into that bunch. They have, say what you will about the disorganization of that organization, that defensive backfield is brutal, even without Ramsey, even though they shipped Ramsey. So you don't throw into that. You run into that. So I made that choice. I'm also sticking with Devontae Parker, who has been red hot as of late. Red hot. Probably he had a career game last week, and this week he's up against the Jets, who do not have a very good secondary. Sticking with it. What are you going to do? Travis Kelce, my tight end, actually in a league that requires tight ends. That's the one playoff that I'm in. And I also have him in another league that doesn't require tight ends. But Travis has been a tremendous disappointment. Even if he had an average year, he would have scored a lot more points than what he has at this juncture. Don't get me started about David Johnson. That is the fantasy bust. I don't care who you are or what's happened. He's a fantasy bust. B-U-S-T, bust. He busted. You could also say that Saquon Barkley is a bust, but he's had injury problems, and he plays for the Giants. So we'll give him a little bit of a pass, even though I picked him number 1 overall. Now, for you smug McCaffrey owners out there that are going, how's that been working the last couple of weeks? It's been doing pretty mediocre. Not scoring a lot. I don't think he had any touchdowns last week. Here at a juncture where you need him to score touchdowns in the playoffs. Playoffs. And he's not scoring touchdowns for you. So, don't be so smug. So, nobody wants to chat with me. You know what? Now we're going to turn this into a chat show. Nobody wants to chat with me. What's the matter? You scared? Are you scared? Nothing to add? Excuse me. But once again, I maintained I'm not going to make this very long. I'm not going to make this very long or involved. And obviously, this is me and the other two of you. This is, this is just me giving you official notice. We're still here. We're still alive. I'm not abandoning you. I would never abandon you because I love you, all three of us. And we will catch you guys next week here on the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. Don't forget, later on tonight, both of you that are actually watching and listening, we had a 7 o'clock chat show called Chat Fight with three young ladies who are good friends, but they have three different opinions. And we'll be discussing an array of topics, including the trending topic of Art Basel and the $120,000 banana. I literally stopped eating breakfast when I saw that news story this morning. Almost makes me want to fire up a last-minute Gonzo Radio show, which still might happen Monday night. Things are a little sporadic around the network right now, kids. I'm grateful for all my associates who are pushing through and coming through and checking up on me during my illness. And no, it's not an STD. God, I wish it was an STD. Man. But we will see you guys next week here on the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. I'm Big Daddy Gonzo. The Maz will be here too, I promise. And still nobody checked in on the... Wow, you guys are a little bitter. Really? I mean, come on. Nobody wants to chat? It's okay. I didn't want to talk to you either. We'll see you guys next week here at 11 a.m. sharp to discuss whether you are further into the playoffs or not. And good luck, Maz.